just finished a breathing exercise, and technically this is the second time I've started streaming today. I I didn't do my breathing exercise, even though I told myself I wanted to do my breathing exercise before I stream. And then I just felt off. I felt like something was missing, and I restarted it. I also think the stream dropped in the middle of it, unfortunately. Uh, but I do feel a lot more content right now. Breathing is a very important thing to sometimes like become aware of, and if you become aware of your own breathing, it kind of gives you the opportunity to take control of that essential life-giving resource, because every time we breathe in and we breathe out back again, it's like we're sharing this life force, right? And we're re-energizing our bodies. So by taking control of that breathing mechanism and like being in charge of it, actively breathing, I believe it kind of allows you to connect more with your inner self, more with that sense of that sense of I that knows it has control over its world, even though sometimes it feels like we don't. And sometimes it feels like we're so lost, like we don't have the capacity to do the things that we want to do. And I read this Stoic quote yesterday that really resonated with me, and it's like it said life is about two things, and mastering these two things will allow you to live a happy life. Lesson one: know what is in your control. Lesson two: know what is not. And it made me really realize that that is really true, because if you worry about the things that you can't control, you're hurting yourself, really, because you're constantly giving this energy towards something that you don't really have influence over. But if you worry about the things that you can control, worry about your relationships, worry about your like skill development, worry about your ego being overactive in some situations, those things are the things in our control. And I think if we start worrying more about the things we can control and less about the things we can, like, and I also don't want this to sound like a scapegoat, like you, like, oh well, I can't do anything about global warming. It's not in my control, so I don't have to worry about that. That is destructive, and we can't exactly think like that. But on the other hand, I still do believe that we have the capacity to like we worry about things that are out of our control, obviously. So thank you so much for the gold. I do appreciate the extra time you've given me to share with all of you beautiful people. What was my point? So yeah, worrying about things. So like if we worry about like let's say for example if I'm gonna get a job or not, the the moment in time when you get that job or not has already been predestined, right? Those people have already spoken amongst each other. They've already made a decision to give you their job or not. So it's the same thing with like worrying about a test after you've written it. It's that constant worry that we like tell ourselves, because it's a problem that we identify, and then we keep trying to problem solve. And some problems like aren't for us to solve, and it's very difficult to kind of come to accept that and to realize that at the end of the day, what is in our control and what is outside of our control. But I feel like I'm talking about nothing. I'm just rambling. But I guess I do that sometimes as well. Do any of you have any good questions to ask me? I would love to answer some. I really do enjoy being asked good questions. So if you have a question that can make me think or can make me question my reality, even better. I would really appreciate some. Well, give me a second while I light this. Tell me if this is a good idea. and if you would like to see something like that. But I want to start reading Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. And my plan was to like read a page a day or something like that. Like maybe a page a day is a little bit light, but read X amount per day and then write down the lessons that I learned, what I think is very important, and then bring it here. Like I'll have it written down on a piece of paper. So if I'm wondering about what to say or something like that, I can just grab for something like that. Give myself some good quotes, some good information. Information is very important, and unfortunately, the corporate companies realized it sooner than most did, and they've been harvesting and using that information for a long time. But we have to be aware of the information we put into ourselves, and like if you want to get really down to the basics of it, almost anything can be seen as some sort of information. The sensation you get from the food you eat, that's information. The chemicals your body gets out of the food that you eat, information. Having a conversation with someone is the exchange of information. Writing down something, learning something, listening to something, music, be it like you're just putting information into your brain. And the way that you process that information can sometimes be like individualistic. So each person processes information in their own way. But we all have the same information to put into our bodies, right? Like we are living in the same informational world. So we have the choice to actively decide whether we want to put good information or bad information into our bodies and into our brains. And I think we intuitively know what good information and what bad information is. I do believe we intuitively know. But it's sometimes a hard decision to make. For example, we know that it's not good for us to eat fast food. It's something that we're very aware of, and yet we still eat fast food, right? So I wonder what that part of our of humanity is. Why do we sometimes know something to be wrong or even detrimental to our own health, and yet we still pursue it? Same thing with cigarettes and like excessive consumption of alcohol. Those things are so bad for you, and yet people know how bad they are. It's been proven through case studies, through like the statistics of people dying from it, and yet people still subject themselves to all of that horror, which is terrifying sometimes. Like it doesn't make any sense to me. Do you know why? Do you know why? I don't know why, yo. Like maybe it's a sadistic nature in humanity, where we're kind of keen on getting hurt. I think it might have been a YouTube video or something that I read. I'm not exactly sure, but they go into explaining how that being hurt mentality or the victim mentality can become something that's almost addictive because you get used to it. Like my mom is screaming at my sister right now. I'm gonna give them some time. Still screaming. Still screaming. I hope you don't hear any of that. I'm so sorry. Anyway, so people become addicted to that sense of wanting to be a victim or the victim mentality because it becomes a very good scapegoat for you to say, oh no, X thing isn't my fault. X thing happened because of whatever. Like, and then whatever is usually the thing that makes them a victim. Oh no, it's the system. Oh no, it's my dad. Oh no, it's my mom. Oh no, I have a disability. Oh no, whatever it is. And no matter how equipped you are with like a amazing body, an amazing mind, your senses and all of that stuff. Like even if you are like the most perfect, arguably, human being on the planet Earth, if you are looking for a reason to get out of something, you'll find one. Like unequivocally, you'll find one. And it is recognizing that almost nature, or that proneness of like what's inside us, and then actively fighting against it. Be aware of it. Lying to yourself will only corrupt the body's response. Yeah, dude. Because you can't. How do you lie to yourself? Like, it's illogical if you want to think about it. You're putting information into your brain which you know to be untrue, and your brain is going to fight against that stuff. I'm pretty sure. We choose to corrupt our perception in order to feel better socially. Society is not good. Ultimately, large society, not small neighborhood society. I think it's true. I believe in today's society, we've come to a point where everything is so in the public eye, if you know what I mean. Everything is so publicized, everything is so visible, that society has become almost this creature, this like entity in its own, and that entity has become obsessed with fame, has become obsessed with wealth, has become obsessed with material like possessions, has become obsessed with beauty, has become obsessed with sex, has become obsessed with yeah, those are the five I think I can think of right now. And that entity, that societal entity, is obsessed with this thing. And unfortunately, because it's now this entity being, every like person as part of that society is participating in it. And then in participation in it, you are basically putting more of that information into society, which means you are reinforcing that entity, and you are creating more information so that more people can fall into the same trap that you are in right now. And that's a loop. And it's something that I think happens especially in such large scale societies, as you said, not in small neighborhood societies where people don't know each other, and they're like, on social media especially, people are only showing other people the good stuff that happened to them. They're not posting about their bad day. Well, some people are, of course, but they're not posting about how they made a blunder, how they trip and fell, how this, how that. They're only posting about the good stuff that's happening to them. And you're only seeing such a small part of their lives. And on top of that, they're tailoring what you're seeing, that small part of their lives. So, in turn, you're literally creating this. I've lost my point actually. My mom is leaving for town, I think. The society. No, I've lost my point. Let's see if I can read some comments to catch up actually. Hey, I'll watch your broadcast later. I have some biology work to do. I'll see you later then, friend. Like, if you want to watch the broadcast as well, like in, horizontal view, I have a YouTube channel called Meltmore as well, the same way it's spelled in my little title. And you can go and check it out. I'm uploading each one of these videos there. Stones Genty, are you happy? I'm very happy. I'm very happy. I'm happy within myself and content with where I am, and very blessed and very grateful to be where I am right now. But because of that contentment, because of that happiness, because of that like knowledge of being blessed, I feel like I'm not doing enough to help the world. And I'm doing this right now as an attempt to help the world. Like, if I can add a smile to someone's face, or just brighten up their day a little bit, add some positivity, like that is the goal for all of us. If you can then in turn take the positivity that I bring for you here and go and touch someone else's life, it has a snowball effect. Like, if we can all just keep being good human beings, we're all benefit from good human beings. It's not that difficult. I just wish it would have happened earlier and with more, what's the word I'm looking for? With more presidentness? No, with more emphasis. That's the word. The human condition is not able to handle large things well. We can only work so much. We can only work so much, and thus can and should only attempt to influence things on a smaller scale. Focus on family, neighborhood, focus on family and neighborhood, not the larger community. So, in a way, I do agree with what you're saying, but I also believe that it is my life's mission to influence things on a larger, on a grander scale. I want to truly help the world, and I have a whole plan to, and it's a little bit of a crazy one, and it's gonna cost me so much money, but I'll get there with hard work and with dedication and with the right mindset. I'll get there, and I do believe, I honestly believe that it can change the world, and I'm looking forward to that day. Oi, nice shirt, mate. I'm happy that you like it. It's very floral. I I like the funky stuff. Makes me happy to look at. From Canada. Welcome from Canada. It must be really cold. Really cold. It must be really cold there right now. I've been watching a few like Reddit videos lately of people that can't reach their houses. Like they can't go up their own stairs, or they like there's a little bit of a slope to their front door and then they can't reach it because they're sliding on the frost. And then me personally, I've never seen snow. I've never seen snow in my entire life. I'm 22 years old. I haven't seen snow. Uh, so yeah, I still have to experience that, which is great. Which is great. I've experienced so much, and yet there is so much I have not experienced yet. Man, it's amazing to be alive. Actually, we should be so grateful. You're handsome, man. Thank you so much for saying that. I really do appreciate it. I have my mother and my father to thank for the good genetics that they gave me. I have handsome brothers and sisters as well. I love them so much. I'm wrestling. We call a work a con job. It's the act of doing something to influence perception of something. People are unable to detect when a work is being done, then fall victim to the lie. Like I enjoy watching con artist shows. It kind of gives me some fascination to see how people have this very very biased, what's the word I'm looking for? Very biased direction or choice when you show them certain images, when you say something to them. Like for example, like this is not exactly a con, but it can be seen as a con. So let's say I make a bet with you that I can win you in the game of rock paper scissors, and then before we start playing and we've made the bet, I ask you like how your mom is, or like how you're feeling, like a personal question. And then I play rock, because psychology has proven if you ask someone a personal question before you play rock paper scissors with them, they're very likely to use scissors as a way to defend themselves, like subconsciously. So that would be, in a way, a work, right? A con, because you kind of use psychology to game him into giving you money. Hey man, can you smoke on some good stuff? You smoking on some good stuff in this? Yes, I am, friend. I'm smoking on some homegrown as well. I believe everybody should grow for themselves. Like if you're in a legal country, of course, and you have the capacity to, because, and I've ranted about this before, but like it's such a topic that I'm so passionate about. If you think about in life how many things we put into ourselves that we have no idea where it comes from. Not really. So like milk comes from a cow, right? But do you know where that cow lives? Do you know the path your milk took from that cow to the factory that boxed it? And what path that milk took that boxed it that came to you? Like there's very few things in our lives that we actually have that real connection with. And with homegrown, no matter what it is, even if it's tomatoes, homegrown, you have that active involvement. Like you know exactly what soil you're planting your food in, or let's say your plants in. You know exactly what nutrients are going onto your plants. You know what care was taken when it was harvested. You know what care was taken when it was prepared. There's not a lot of things in life where you really have that one-on-one connection with the thing it is you're consuming. And that's why I believe gardening, and especially growing your own produce, is very, very important. It connects you with your humanity. Da 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 da. Yep, man. Life's goal is to make an impact. If we look closer, life doesn't have as many. Life doesn't has any other. Life doesn't have any other goal. Like we don't know why we are here. We can do whatever we want, but if it's not for impact, it might seem useless. That's a very good point, friend. I agree completely, because I do believe there's a lot of people that have lived impactless lives. And I'm seeing it more and more in the consumer culture that we live in. People are so drawn to like cell phone games. Like, I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story. Unfortunately, my dad will probably never watch any of these. Maybe if I die someday, which I hope that never happens, but maybe then. So, like, I'll tell you a story about my dad. He is very, and I mean very, very addicted to his phone. And he refuses to admit it. Like, he doesn't believe us when we tell him. My mom has told him, me and my brother have both told him multiple times, and he laughs it off like we're making a joke with him. And then we'll be having a conversation with him, and we tell him something. Let's say I tell him about this new car that came out, and then he'll be on his phone and he'll say, or okay. And then I'll be like this should be a conversation here, you should keep it going. Like I'll mention the fact that he's on his phone instead of paying attention to me, and that he's like technically ignoring me. And then he'll be like, oh, you were telling me about this car. So he hears you, he just doesn't listen to you. And it's so frustrating. And it hurts me, and it hurts my other siblings, and more than everyone, it hurts my mom. And that hurts me again. So I don't know what to do. And I feel like it's not just him. There's a lot of people that are so like horribly addicted to their cell phones, be it Candy Crush, be it Facebook, be it Instagram. People have become very addicted. And I feel like right now it's taking the old people by storm. Like, I remember how they used to like nag us, like, oh yeah, you young people and your phones, like you never put them down, you can't get enough of them. And like, I can probably guarantee you 90% of you have parents that are probably on their phones a lot more than you are these days. Like, at least for me, that is the truth. Like, my dad is significantly more on his phone than I am, and that, it boggles my mind. I'm 15 and I have COVID. I'm sorry to hear that, friend. At least you're 15 and you have COVID. Like, silver linings, right? Fortunately, people of your age are very unlikely to pass away from COVID. My sister is 14 and she also had COVID. She has a hard time like tasting and smelling, but that's just symptomatic. I hope, and I'm asking the universe that she gets that back, because I do believe it's a part of life. It's a very important sense. Both of them are very important senses, being able to smell and taste. So I wish for my sister to regain those senses really quickly. Hey man, da, 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 da. You can not try to force on a larger scale without first having been successful at a change at a smaller scale. I agree completely, dude. I agree completely. Like you're right on the money there, and I do believe we are given like small scale situations in which we can make decisions and say things that will allow us to make impact on a small scale first. And each little run up, each little small encounter where you're making impact, you can like obviously make a bad impact. If I like scream at you or hit you in the middle of an argument, that's going to be a bad impact. But if I can like keep my calm and we can like reach an agreement about an argument, like you've made impact on both sides. But that situation could have gone both ways, so you have to choose in every single moment whether you want to make a good impact or a bad impact. And if you continue making good impacts, I believe, honestly believe, that the universe will keep giving you situations with greater and greater scale in which you can make a good impact. And if we continue on that trajectory, if we continue trying to have a good impact on our world and on the people in our lives, like that has to that has to lead to the world becoming a better place. It's just logic. Dude, homegrown bud sucks. If you say so, dude, you should learn how to grow then, friend. You should learn how to grow then. You seem like a pretty chill guy. I am a pretty chill guy, but I can also be very not chill sometimes. uh, I can be a little bit extra in the way of like when I set out to do something. Like for example, let me go into examples so I don't leave you in the dark. Me and my friends staying in the same commune, we want to leave somewhere, and we're like four people at said commune. I'm driving, and I say, and we plan that we're gonna leave at 4. So by 4, I'm in the car, I've started the car, I'm ready to drive. And then like I don't get angry, but I get like, you know how it's kind of, it's angry. Technically I get angry, but I don't get nasty. I just get like, I get quiet and I brood because we didn't leave at 4 and I wanted to leave at 4. So yeah, like it does happen, but we have to like try and like come back to being chill instead of being like extra sometimes. You from South Africa? I am from South Africa, friend. Born and raised in South Africa. I'm very fortunate to have been born here, I believe. I think I've been allowed a lot of opportunities and a lot of freedom. Freedom that I don't think a lot of people in the world have. And for that, I'm so grateful. So grateful. And I believe that the experiences I've learned in my life and I'm still actively learning will allow me to do the things I've set out to do. Oh, man, every time I say that, I think about my book. Oh, I'm not writing enough. Like, not nearly enough. Like, not even close to enough. I don't have an excuse. I can't even think. I don't even want to think of an excuse because I don't have an excuse. I should just, you know what I should do? Scheduling. I think scheduling your day out is the best way that you can get into something like that. I'll just, I'll set out an hour every day where I'll be writing. So now it's done. I'm gonna do that. I'll write at least 1 hour a day. You're Hey, what do you call barbecues in South Africa? We call it a braai. Like it's B-R-A-A and an I. So braai. And it's a very nice word to say, dude. Try it. Braai. Ons gaan braai. Like, ons gaan braai means we are going to go barbecue. And if you want to make a South African very happy, that's all you have to say to him. Ons gaan braai. And I can guarantee you, no matter where you find him in the world, he'll have a smile on his face hearing that. You're a good vibe. Thank you very much for saying that. I'm here to provide a good vibe for you beautiful people. So thank you for joining me for this. Thank you for watching. I do appreciate that as well. Like, you're not nothing in this, like quite the contrary. Without you people, I wouldn't have a point in doing this, would I? I'm from East Africa, Mauritius. That's so cool, yo. Mauritius is a beautiful place as well, even though I've not been. My parents have been to Zanzibar, which is close to Mauritius, I believe. But I want to go there at some point in my life as well. I want to come smoke. I want you to come smoke all my weed. I can't do that, friend. I'll bring some of my own as well, dude. We can share. But I'd love to join you. You know, I'll roll for you. Absolutely. What's your book about? Why are you writing it? I have to take a sip of water before I answer that question. That's good. So, my book is called The Divinity Meter, and it goes into explaining, I believe, and I'm gonna keep writing on it as I gain more information, everything you need to know about being a good human being. So I start explaining how your brain works, and then in turn, because of your brain structure, how your egos form, like your id, your ego, your super ego. Then I go into explaining consciousness and my opinions of what happens after we die, Not really that important for, well, in my opinion, it is important for being a good person. So actually, it is important for being a good person. Then I go into explaining neurochemistry, how dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, cortisol, like freaking adrenaline, all of these chemicals are like these different weights in our brain. And depending on how much of the different ones you have, you feel a certain way and you react a certain way in the world. And then I go into explaining how you can do things in your life to increase the amount of these chemicals in your body or decrease the amounts like cortisol, which you don't want elevated in your body. And then I go into explaining, so this I've already written, but I'm writing this part now. I go into explaining how in social situations you can do certain things that will stimulate the release of more dopamine versus less dopamine, more oxytocin versus less oxytocin, more serotonin versus less serotonin. And by being aware and being active in these things, you can basically raise the vibrational frequency of all the human beings that you come into contact with. Oh, sorry, little burp. And then because you're raising the vibrational frequency of everybody you come in contact with, you are raising your own frequency and then therefore raising the unity's frequency. And that is divinity. And that's why it's called the Divinity Meter. So that's like the rundown version of what the book is about. Time management is very important, friend. You're very, very right. Such a good mood. I'm so happy that you think that. I'm very, very happy to provide a good mood. So, like, I really enjoy hearing that. If you can have a smile on your face, or just feel calm, just feel relaxed, sharing this space with us, that sounds like a dream come true to me. Please marry me. We'll have to have some conversations first. Like, I can't just marry you. Yes, like, we have to like learn each other's names, surnames, like if you have siblings, like what do you like to eat, what do you like to do in your free time. I can't just marry you. Yes, I need to like know you first. Please give me give me some information. Detroit, Michigan, USA. Well, welcome from Detroit, Michigan, USA. I hope Detroit. Like, man, the internet really ruins you for certain like words. Because now, thinking of Detroit, I'm thinking of the meme of like, can't have shit in Detroit. It makes me, it makes me laugh. Is it true? Please tell me it's not true, homie. I hope that your things are in your possession and that you can keep them. How stoned is this guy? About this stone. I've smoked this much, and this is the first bit I've smoked all day, because I believe, as we said about time commitment, of time management, like you should have a set day and like a set time and day after which you're allowed to smoke, and like the standard is 4:20, so that's what I'm respecting now. So in these streams every single day, because I'll be streaming every single day of this year, so that I can keep like providing a good vibe if that is something that I'm doing. And I sit down here, I roll my first joint for the day, and I light up my first joint for the day, and I just have conversations with you beautiful people. And if that isn't a good way to smoke your first joint in the day, I don't know what is. I don't know what is. Like, because right now we're in the middle of an epidemic, we're all alone, like we can't go to our friends' place. Like we can, but we're like less prone to, obviously. So since I've been pretty lonely friend wise, like for a while now. I haven't seen my friends in like a month, like more than a month now, which is not that long, I guess. But I'm a social person and I really enjoy interacting with my friends. So, and like smoking is part of an interaction that you have with friends, and unfortunately, I don't have that right now, but I do have you guys. And that is just as good to me. Like, if I can share a space with anybody, be it my dog, be it my sister, be it my brother, be it you beautiful people, that is what I'm grateful for. Da, da, da. He has a contagious vibe. Like, I think a contagious vibe is much better than a contagious disease. So that makes me happy that you say that. I'm normally a cynic, but he puts me in a good mood. Good, good. You have to be in a good mood, friend. We can't always be in bad moods. It's easy to be in a bad mood because we're like, oh, the world sucks. Oh, I didn't like my life. Oh, no future. Oh, planet's dying. Oh, we're angry. No, stop it. Stop it. Rather, think about what can I do about all of these things that are bothering me. How can I take small steps every day to get closer to that goal that it is I've set in my mind? That beautiful goal, the beautiful like family you want one day, the beautiful house you want to live in, the beautiful places you want to see. Think about those things, because you're putting that good intention, that good energy into the universe, and that's exactly what you're gonna attract. Good morning from Texas, and have a beautiful day. Thank you very much. I do appreciate your good information. Like, good morning to you as well. I hope you have a beautiful day. I hope I can have put a smile on your face. And if I could have put a smile on your face, go out today and with the people that you talk. Oh, yeah, I'm still gonna say this, but I'm gonna say something afterwards. And the people that you talk to, try and put a smile on their faces as well. Like, just be chatty. Ask them how their day's been. Like, for no reason. Be kind to people for no reason. If you can do that, you're gonna be set. And the reason I interrupted myself is because everybody's wearing face masks. So how do you see if someone's smiling? I guess you can see with their eyes. Hit me up, I'll give you all my info. Oh, you really want to marry me, huh? How do you know I'm not a bad guy? Can't marry me. Maybe I'm a bad dude. I have to be careful. A lot of bad dudes there in the world, so I might be one of them. You don't know. I do believe I'm not a bad dude. I think I was a bad dude, but now I've transitioned into trying to be a better dude. But you still don't know if that might be true. I might be bluffing. Detroit has a stigma, unfortunately. Like, a lot of places have stigmas. Like Amsterdam, you just had a flash of things in your head. Stigma. But maybe the stigmas are true. What other places? Australia, there we go. Australia is a stigma. Oh, dangerous animals, right? Yeah, but there are a lot less animals per square meter than there are like in any other place in the world because they have so much desert and dry land that things don't want to live there. So they don't have active populations. So they, in the amount of surface area they have, technically they have less creatures than average people have. If that makes any sense. And I'm not sure if that's 100% true, but at least that's something I've read. Uh, Read Marx, bro. No more new age frequency silliness. Become a historical materialist. Our conditions determine our brain chemistry. Yeah, I do. I agree with that actually. But what is like brain chemistry? If you think about it, it's chemicals that are being broken up into electrons, firing through our brain cells, and then what happens to that energy? After you've had a thought, after you've had a pulse in your head of electrons firing, what happens to that energy? Energy cannot be destroyed or created, it can only be transformed. So that energy has to be transformed, right? Mr. Stay hydrated. Like, am I wrong? If you're still here, like, that's what I think at least. I believe you can have both. You can have hard science and you can have the mystical. Because I believe the mystical is beyond this realm. It's beyond this. Okay. So, the reason I believe in the mystical is actually because of quantum mechanics. So, I don't like some of you might know that there is something called quantum tunneling. And with quantum tunneling, you can have two molecules at the opposite states of the universe. And when one of them flips, the other one will flip in response. Like it flips literally in response to the other one. And those two molecules can be vast distances apart from each other, which means that things can influence each other even though they aren't even remotely in the same space. So, because of that, I believe thoughts affect things on a quantum level in some like higher dimensional way. Like, that's just my opinion. Depends on where you're at in Detroit. Some hoods, the ambulances won't even travel to downtown Detroit, and the business districts are safe. Wow, that's brutal. The ambulances won't even go there. Do they get shot or something, or do they get robbed? Like, why? Like, why would you do something like that to an ambulance? Or is it just that bad? Weed kills, my man. It does? Man, that's brutal. I'm not dying though, so I can't exactly agree. But I'm sorry you lost your mother, friend. What town you in? What town you in? I'm not in a town, bro. I'm in the middle of nowhere on a farm. I'm loving the good vibes. I'm loving you for loving the good vibes, friend. Thank you for saying that. Please return for more good vibes. I can not guarantee, but I can hope. I can hope there'll be only good vibes for this entire year. Unfortunately, we can't always just have good vibes, but I'll come here with the intent to bring good vibes. So another decision made. I have the family, I have the kids. They still suck. I'm sorry that you like feel that way, friend. Why is it you feel that your family and your kids suck, dude, or your wife and your kids suck? Are they not appreciating you enough? Are you like, did you expect something different? Like, please tell me. I'm really interested because I believe the reason we don't enjoy things as much as we could is because we take ourselves out of them. We become so obsessed with either what happened in our past or what's going to happen in our future that we completely take our minds out of the present. And are you being present with your kids and with your wife? Are you really enjoying the time with them? Are you taking the time to look at the stupid things? One of my dogs is coming out of the bushes. Are you taking the time to look at the stupid things they're doing and appreciate that for what it is? Like I believe there's so much like beauty and like enjoyment to be had just from human interaction that I can't imagine having kids could suck. Yeah, I'm still a bad dude, and that's a good thing too. Cannot be any light without darkness. Yeah, exactly. There has to be light. There has to be darkness for there to be light, or for light to have a stage to perform in, right? There has to be an inanimate, nothing doing stage for the actual actors or the dancers to have something to be elevated upon. Like there has to be an off to be an on. Our brain cells are either firing or they're not. There's this contrast in our universe that is like ever present. It's everywhere. I'll ask you a hard question. Please ask me a hard question. Big up Science and Mystical. Robbed ambulance for the drugs. Yeah, I can imagine. What do you do for a living? My profession is philosophy, friend. Me and a few friends from yesterday's streams had made that decision. So my profession is philosophy. I'm only kidding. Weed can become addictive, can regulate this with everyday life and work balances. How does it affect psychologically? You. So I understand what you're asking, but I'll answer the question to the best of my ability. I believe anything, literally anything, has like the potential for abuse. Unfortunately, be it cigarettes, be it alcohol, be it chocolate bars. And if you don't have balance in your life with any of those things, you're going to be putting yourself in a negative position. And that addictive personality is the problem. It's not the actual substance. Like, yes, technically, I do have a problem with sugar and how much sugar there is in everything that we eat. But I do believe that if you like once a month want to indulge in some sugar, like that will be okay because you have balance with it. But like the way that I used to, if I consume sugar actively, like maybe like not going like 2 hours without putting sugar into my body, that is not balance. And that was very destructive to my health. It was very addictive. It was something that regulated my mood. It was something that regulated my behavior. Like I would like stay up late night so that my parents would go to sleep so that I can eat in the kitchen without being noticed. Like that's something that I used to do like when I was really fat because I felt ashamed of me being overweight, and then in turn I like ate to like mask that shame, and it becomes a destructive cycle. And it's the same thing with any substance. So after I regained balance in my life with the way that I consume, with the way that I just approach life in general, I've not have had a problem with addiction again. And that's why, so when I came back to South Africa about like going on 4 months now, and because I like left weed completely when I went to China and only like took it up again when I came back to South Africa where it was legal, I was smoking a lot during the day, and I was starting pretty early in the day, and I was doing that because I enjoyed it. But then for 2021, I set myself a goal to accomplish more, to do more work. And because of that goal I set myself, I told myself that I'm no longer smoking before 4:20 in the day. So my whole day, I'm productive. I can do what it is I want to do. My stream just ended, unfortunately, but I'm going to finish my point. I can do what it is I've set out to do. And then I get to reward myself with this thing in balance at the end of the day. And that's the message I want to leave you with. Have balance in the things that you do, and you'll be set for the rest of your life.